Right then, guys, welcome back to another video. Now, I just want to explain quickly, I think the industry is changing. I think a lot of men in this era now are changing. And I really think that a lot of you guys who found content at like 21 years old are probably 25, 26 now. You know, when I first started in this industry, when I was finding all this content, I was 21, today I'm 32. So 11 years on, I've evolved, I've changed massively. When I started making content properly again, I was about 26, 27. To be 32, you know, minimum it's 5 years from when I first started making content properly again on YouTube. Everybody evolves, and I can see a narrative in the industry now where it's changing, where self-improvement was great. And I think if you're young and you need it, and you need to stop watching porn, you need to go to the gym, you need to, you know, improve yourself and stuff like that, and you need to learn life, then go back to all the old videos that people have put out and enjoy them. The problem for me is the content is becoming regurgitated. Everyone's just copying each other's videos. Everyone's waiting for somebody like me, who is a creative individual, to come up with content, so then it gives them ideas to go and make. And it just sucks. It's like everyone's just saying the same shit, and it's yeah, I think the guard is changing now, though. I think because people have gone, okay, instead of, you know, I'm just self-improving to get laid. I'm just self-improving so I can mug people with my nice jawline. No, it's like people get a little bit older and they go, okay, there's more to this. Like, why did I improve? Why did I do all this? Am I going to give it to somebody, as in like family and kids? Am I going to build something great? Am I going to provide for them and whatnot? Because that's what you should be doing. That's what you should be doing, building something great. And I still stick heavily by my narrative, which is men should stay single for longer. Men should be selfish for longer. When you're young, you should just focus on yourself. And I will still stick by that forever. And I'm still not, you know, 100% sure on marriage, because I just don't think it has. I just think the downside is so big, and divorce rates are like over half now. You just look at it and you just think, is it even worth the risk? Is it ruining more relationships than it's like helping? I think it might be. So you look at that and you just think, I'm not sure about that, but I'm still stick by the narrative that men should stay single for longer. They shouldn't date when they're broke. It's no point. You can't do anything with it. Do you know what I mean? But if you guys are self-improving, you're getting to a better level, you're improving yourself in life, there's going to come a point where you go, I'm sick of just doing this to myself. What am I going to do? Just keep buying cars, keep buying luxury watches, keep, you know, watching no-fat videos every morning and being like, I will not do it. Gets to a point where you just go, I'm a high-level man now. Like, I'm somebody who is a leader in society. I need a good woman by my side, and I want to start a family. I want the next phase of life. I'm very much there now. I'm looking for like the build of the empire. Do you know what I mean? Where you go, okay, like who am I going to do this with? And, you know, who am I doing this for? Because you can't just keep doing it for yourself forever. You can only pay off so many family members' mortgages before there's none left. And then you just go, okay, like, what, am I just going to sit around now and just buy cars and watches the rest of my life and just like flaunt on the internet? Like, I'm still rich. You know, there's one content creator that's just, you know, day in the life of a millionaire at this place. Millionaire goes shopping in this place. It's like, come on, man. Like, there can't be any substance to that. You must be bored out of your mind. For me, I think the next phase for a lot of you guys, and I think the next phase of this industry's content, is going to be family stuff. And I think that's what I would like to, not wholly, I think I'd still like to explain a lot of concepts and stuff like that. But I think one area that I'm going to start diving into is looking into, you know, sustainability, family, setting yourself up in that manner and whatnot. And, you know, the male advantage actual phase. I think that's going to be important. So one of those videos is going to be signs that she's your wife. I think this is an important video to make, because a lot of people will make videos on like red flags in women. I don't really want to entertain my time with that, because you're just shitting on somebody for no reason. I would much rather go after the positive narrative of signs that she is a wife. So I just want to run through some of these now. And bit of context, over the years, I've probably dated 1,000 women. I'd be shocked if it was anything less than that. And, you know, you got to think I started dating when I was like 14. I'm 32 today. And, you know, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of experience, a lot of people that I've met. And I mean, that could just be like one night, whatever, you know, one meal that you've gone for, a few hours you spent with a woman and stuff like that. And from what I've come across and some things that I've learned, I'm going to share with you guys, probably, I don't know how many's on here, there's probably about 12 or 13 things that I've found that have held true to be, she's a quality woman. You know, they've really, in hindsight, I've looked back and gone, wow, yeah, she's a very good woman. Or it's, you know, if she doesn't have these qualities, it's led to her not being what I was looking for. So, right, guys, sorry to interrupt the video, but our school community is 400 members now. We're going to cap it at 800. We literally launched it last week. With the new model, the new system, everything that's in place. I'm uploading one new video every day. Live call yesterday was phenomenal. We talked about debt. We talked about how your life changes when you become successful, how you can change, you know, your systems and the way that you live and stuff like that. It was fascinating. All of those live calls are recorded. And when you sign up, it's all available. There's probably 30 to 40 live calls. All of them are 3 hours long. So, I mean, you literally sign up and you probably got, with all the other content on there, the body language course, everything, the stream platform projects, you probably would struggle to watch everything in 6 months to a year. That's how much content is on there if you watched 1 or 2 things per night. And I'm adding all the time. So the value for money is insane. And my team actually put something in place that people have been asking for, which was a yearly subscription instead of paying monthly. So monthly is $49. They said they've put in $400, which ends up saving you a shit ton of money, over $100 for the year. And you pay it, forget about it, it's done. You got access for the full year. You got access to all the courses. Everything gets unlocked immediately. It is an absolute game changer, guys. And I can't wait to meet more of you on there because I've met a few people from the school community in person now, and it's so much fun. I've enjoyed doing that. I think this is the future. I think it's the future of the industry. I think being able to actually meet people in person, actionable steps, you know, real world stuff. And the school community is helping towards that massively. So come and join us, guys. Once it hits 800 people, the price will be shooting up. And because we just want to keep like a closed group of like pure winners and keep it quality, keep the quality very, very high. So there's 400 places left. Obviously, there's 165,000 subscribers here, so I imagine it's going to fill pretty quickly. And then the price shoots up forever. You can't bring it down once you put it up. So, yeah, I'll see you guys there. Number 1 is great relationship with her father. This is a must. Every time I've seen a woman with a great relationship with her father, I promise you guys, it always goes well. She's always pro men. She loves masculinity. If she says stuff like, my dad's a great man, he's my hero, she's going to treat you exactly the same. She's going to see men as a positive. She's not going to immediately jump to, oh, he's mansplaining. She's going to be like, you're so intelligent, which changes the game, completely changes the game. And any woman I've ever met that has a great relationship with her dad, it works well. Any that don't, it tends to not be, you know, there tends to be struggles there you have to get over. And I don't want that. I don't want to have to sit there and have to struggle and like, I don't want to have to fix somebody. I'm too old to have to fix somebody. Next up is she's reluctant to have sex outside of the relationship or a relationship. That's massive for me. Any woman that I've ever met, and people talk about body counts, like, oh, she's got a body count of 6, that's disgusting. Is it? If she started having sex at 16 and she's 26 years old and in 10 years she's had sex with 6 people and every single one of those sexual encounters was in a relationship, is that disgusting? I don't think it is. I actually applaud that. I actually think that's amazing. That's actually phenomenal in my opinion. And it shows that if she's only ever had sex in relationships, and yeah, she could be lying, but you know, you got to take people on face value. It gets to a point in your life where you just can't be suspicious. You know, you can be switched on, but you can't be suspicious. You just got to, you know, just believe in people. And if she's only ever had sex in relationships, then in my opinion, I'm like, okay, she's only ever had sex or pleasure during a loving scenario with somebody that she was trying to build a future with. And if there's guys that she was with that have cheated or they didn't live up to expectations and she had to leave them, it's not her fault. Do you know what I mean? In my opinion there, it's like, yeah, you've had sex with 6 guys, but you wanted to get married to each of those guys. That's enormous for me. And if you can find a woman that's been in like 1 or 2 long-term relationships, she met a guy at 16, was with him till like 23, and then, you know, you meet her and it's like, you know, some guys have an issue. Yeah, but you slept with another guy. She slept with another guy under a loving relationship and thought it was going to go all the way to marriage. And it's like, now you get to step in and get the best of her. Like now she knows what she really wants. Like, that's perfect. You know what I mean? So if she's only ever had sex in relationships, or, you know, if it's like long-term dating, which is pretty much a relationship, then that means a lot to me. I'm not really big on one-night stands or, you know, I don't think a woman values herself very highly if she's just like, oh, I'm horny, let's go. Like, what's that about? It's a bit animalistic. I just think any guy could steal you from me under those circumstances, and I wouldn't be happy about that. One thing that I've seen is religious values. That holds true. Any women that are from religious backgrounds and have religious values tend to be very good women. They tend to have traits that I think will overlap into making a good wife, making a good mother for your children. I think these are traits that you need to look out for. Now, does she need to be religious? No, but it's just the values that she's been brought up on. It seems to hold true to be, from what I've seen from experience, the best women seem to come from religious backgrounds. Whether they practice it or not is different, but they come from religious families, backgrounds, and whatever, and they've been raised the right way. Next one is love language. And the three that I found that really pay dividends is touch. If you're walking along the street and she just grabs you, leans into you, wants to always hold you and be near you. If, you wake up in the morning, she wants to cuddle. If after sex, she wants to cuddle. I've seen girls that you have sex with them and, they'll be on their phone. They'll be on their phone afterwards and you're just like, that's so alien. Do you know what I mean? Like you've been in maybe a relationship and then the next girl that you sleep with is just like on her phone and you're like, oh, you're basically just passing time. You just needed some pleasure and then you're back to your life. Like that's so bad. When you see it, you go, wow, that's not a good woman. You want a woman who's all about you, who's all over you, wants to grab you, touch you, kiss you. When you're in public, she wants to hold your hand. She wants to be near you. If you're waiting for something, she's cuddling you. That's a massive sign, guys. Next one is food. She wants to eat together. She wants to cook together. Like it's her love language is let's go and break bread together. Let's sit across the table, And the next one is spending time together. If she's happy not having to go to an expensive restaurant, she just wants to sit with you, go for a walk, she just wants to spend time in the sun, walking around, hand in hand, coffee in hand, something like that, then that's a good sign. Do you know why all three of those are a good sign? Because they scream family values, they scream wife. It screams that she comes from a good background. If she wants to, if she wants to grab you, touch you, be all over you, she wants to eat food with you and spend time with you. For me, that's a loving home. From experience, that is a loving home. That's somewhere where, you think about your kids in that scenario. Your kids are going to see mum and dad hugging and kissing in the house, cooking food together, laughing and joking, spending time with each other. That's massively healthy. That's something that I want in a woman. Next up is she wants children. Massive green flag. That's always a good sign. If she says she wants children and she wants them young, that's a really good sign. I always think if a woman doesn't want children, like she says to you, I'm going to wait till I'm mid-30s or something like that. I'm going to wait as long as possible. I want to look after my body. I want to protect my body. It's a little bit selfish, number one. And number two, it says to me that she's still looking for options. Like if she was with me and saying, but I still want to wait, it's because she knows that once she does it, she's kind of semi off the market. So, at that point, she just goes, I want to explore my options first. Then you're not for me. I want a woman who knows. I want to settle down with somebody. I want to have kids. Next up is that she wants to marry young. Even though I'm not massive on marriage, if a woman says to me she wants to marry young, then it changes my perspective completely. If she's like 22, 23 years old and she's like, I don't want to do the whole nightclub thing. I don't want to do all the garbage. I just want to settle down, marry somebody and start building, then that's massive. I've found throughout my dating history that is always a positive sign. It always displays a good woman. And that woman, even if I pass on the opportunity, literally a year later, she's married with some real good guy. She's settled down. Like she was looking for that the whole time. I met a girl once who was phenomenal. She must have been about 22 years old. One of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. And I didn't understand what she was doing. She was obsessed with me. She was a virgin. She was from a Pakistani background and she kept calling me every hour. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm busy. Like, what are you doing? In hindsight, I'm like, damn, that's actually really attractive. She'd never slept with another guy. She's obsessed with you. She wants to get married. She wants to settle down. And in hindsight, I was like, damn, that would have made a really good wife. That would have made a really good woman. But at the time, you don't see it like that. At the time when you're younger and you're in player mindset, you're like, she's just another one that wants me. You got to notice these things. Otherwise, I'm not a big believer of the good ones go, but you do have to notice these things because these women are rare when you come across them. Next up, other family members are married and have had kids young. I think if other family members like brothers, sisters, especially sisters, her mum did it, if they got married and had kids young, maybe before 25, then it's a good sign. Like if her sister's 26 with 2 kids and she's 22, there's a good chance that she's going to want to follow in her footsteps. And I always think that's a good sign. I think like in reverse, if it was a man, if a woman said, "Oh, I like this guy, but he never wants to have kids, he never wants to start a family, he has no interest. All he wants to do is just buy like expensive sports cars and ball out and go to the club," you'd be like, "Yeah, move on, move on." Like that's not somebody you can build something with. So that's what it is for me, for women. Like when I look at that, I'm like, I need somebody that, when you come home, the house smells of fresh cooking. The house smells clean. It smells like when you come home, you get a massive hug off the kids and wife. I think we're losing that in society. And I think it's so simple, but it's probably the happiest you will ever be. Next up, she wants you to lead. If she's trying to lead, I promise you guys, it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. Women do want you to lead, but if she's trying to lead, she either sees flaws in you or that's just the way she is. She's been raised by weak men. She's got weak men around her, or she's bought into the societal change that we have now. Women can do anything men can do. It's just, you're butting heads. It's exhausting. You don't need it. Next up, she talks a lot. I was dating a girl once who was perfect in every area, except she would have these mood swings and not talk for like 3 hours. And I wouldn't know why. She'd just go quiet. And she'd sit in the car with headphones in while I was driving places. And I was like, I don't like that. I was like, I want to sit and talk. I want to get to know you. I want to chat about things. Like, I'm just going to sit in silence. Like, I've seen couples walk around the street with like, a guy had headphones on once and the girl was just walking alongside him. And I was like, what the hell? Like, talk to each other. Like, that's not healthy at all. When people say, "Oh, we sleep in separate beds," I've never been a fan of that. My woman's getting in the bed with me every single night. What the hell are you talking about? She's not going in another bed. So, like, are you kidding? So yeah, I want my woman to talk a lot. I want her to talk 10 times more than I do. I want her to talk the head off of me. I want her to bore the hell out of me. I want her to just sit there talking so much that she goes, "Oh my God, sorry, like I talk so much. Am I annoying you?" Like, I love that. I'm like, no, carry on. I don't want to be the one sat there talking all the time and stuff like that. If she asks questions, I'll go through it. But I love it when a woman talks loads. It shows that she has social skills. It shows that she has high energy. I think it's from experience, it's a really good trait, okay? It always holds well. Next up is she's genuinely interested in what you do. When you explain your business, your job, your hobbies, your interests, she's actually asking questions. She's like, that's amazing. She's supporting you. She needs to be your cheerleader. People say, "Oh, what? You're looking for a second mum? You're looking for somebody to hold you up and support you?" I don't need that. But if you've got somebody who's a cheerleader who's on your team who's saying, "That's amazing. Wow, I can't believe you did that. You're so talented. You're so intelligent." Like, who doesn't love that? That's amazing to have in your life. This beautiful woman who wants to support you. I think that's phenomenal. So from my experience, any woman who doesn't just go, "Oh, boring business. Like, can we talk about something else?" Any woman who's like, "Oh my God, tell me more. It's amazing." That's who you should be pursuing. Her mindset is right. Because she's worried about more than just like who you are on the surface. Next up is she doesn't gossip to friends about your relationship. This includes like her mum and stuff like that. I've had girls in the past that have said, "My mum agrees with me." Or, my friend, and it's a fictional friend, but like, Jennifer, well, she said the same thing. And it's like, oh, so you've been discussing stuff but about us. Like, if I had the best sex ever with my wife, I wouldn't even tell the boys. If me and my wife had an argument and I was like, "Hey mate, what do you think about this?" And then he said, "Yeah, I've never actually liked her," I'd want to punch him in the head. So it's like, there's no benefit to telling anybody anything. Just keep it between you two. And if she's gossiping and telling stories about you and slagging you off to other people, it's not good. That's not good at all. Because she's going to be doing it to other men. She's going to be saying to other men, "Oh yeah, he doesn't, I wish I was with you. He's not as strong as you." Or like, she's basically giving him hints. Like, here's what he does wrong. Don't do that, and I'll sleep with you instead. It's not a good sign. Next up is she cares about health. Reason being, I see women, I'm 32 years old, I see women in their 40s and 50s who are dressed extremely well. They've made the best of themselves, and I find them sexy as hell. I'm at an age now where I'm like, gray hair, wrinkles, the way that they dress, I'm like, that's sexy. I like that. And I see women with kids and I'm like, that's hot. I'm not going to pursue that, obviously, for obvious reasons, but I'm like, that's hot, that's attractive. Certain things have like really appealed to me as time's gone on. And the reason I say care about health is because, and I explain that scenario, is because I'm not worried about beauty. I'm not worried like a few gray hairs later on down the line. She's a bit older. She doesn't look like she did at 21. That's fine. But I want to know that you take care of yourself. I want to know that you take care of your health and stuff. It's the act more than the appearance. It's the fact that you try it. It's the fact that you're doing it. It's the fact that you make an effort. You don't just bum around the house, just like picking your nose and farting. Like, Some women find that funny, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, look after yourself at all times. You know, I don't want you putting on the same clothes for 3 days straight and they smell, and you're like, well, you know, that's me, get over it. Well, I don't want that version of you. When I first met you, you smelled amazing every single day. So you got to have a woman that you know goes to the gym. If you look at her mum stays fit. The family culture is to stay fit. That is enormous, guys. That really helps, because when she's 50 years old, you're still going to find her attractive. And the same holds true for you. Don't get fat as a man. Don't let yourself go. You always have to stay on top of things and be accountable. Next up is consistent mood. I've dated women who have been up and down and whatever, and it's not good. I've dated women who are consistently at like an 8 in terms of happiness, 7 or 8. Terrible things go wrong in their life and they're still happy and they've still got energy. Guys, I'm telling you, it's a game changer. Honestly, it's one of the nicest feelings in the world when you've got a woman who is always happy. You come home, you know it's going to be a good weekend. You're like, I can't wait to spend 2.5 days with you. This is going to be phenomenal. If you've got somebody who's always down, who's nagging, and then they're up and they're down, you don't know whether you're coming or going. Here's what you end up doing. I don't know whether I'm coming or going with you. One day you're up, one day you're down. Make up your fucking mind. You don't need that. You don't need to try and change somebody or explain it to them. They've got issues. They've got something going on. You don't need to fix it. Move on. Find someone else who is always happy. It's easy. And look, you can't be always happy, but it's somebody who's making the best of every scenario. I was dating a girl before I was in a long-term relationship. She'd be smiling whilst crying. I've seen her do that. She'd be crying and smiling and laughing and just be like, it's so sad, but she'd be like trying to make the best of it. And she'd be like wiping her tears like, oh, you don't want to see me doing this. Like, let's go out somewhere. Let's go for a walk. That, honestly, it's so attractive. And it's the same in a man. A woman doesn't want you to be down all the time. Next up is she praises masculinity. I've had girls before that you've stood up for something. They've gone, oh, toxic masculinity. Why are guys always wanting to fight? Not interested in that. Move on. Not interested. If a woman's like, you know, that was really hot, you trying to protect me, and she praises masculinity, and she's like, as a man, I know you have to do that. Like, I know you have to stand up. Then she's not gonna belittle you. She's never gonna shout you down. She's never gonna say that was wrong. She knows you've got a job to do and you're gonna do it. You know, if you have to discipline the kids, she's gonna be like, okay, fair enough. That's the rules. Like, that's what dad set in place. That's healthy for the relationship. She should love masculinity. She should love strength. She should love the fact that you can do things for her that she can't do herself. If there's a woman who's like, get off, I'll do it myself, I'm gone. I've had girls like that. Get off, I'll do it myself. You don't need to pick me up. I can reach myself. And you're like, you can't. I'm 6'2" and you're 5'1". Are you taking a piss? And then they'll climb the cabinet. And I'm like, I don't find that impressive. It'd be much easier if they went, can you do it? And then they found that sexy. That goes a long way. From my experience, that goes a lot further. The last one, guys, is she doesn't talk shit about other people. I've seen women do this. Like, one of the most beautiful women I'd ever been on a date with, she was unbelievable until she started slagging off this girl that she lived with, and she just did it for like half an hour, and I was like, oh, it's just ruined everything. I was like, that's the type of person you are. You hold grudges, you resent things, you judge other people, and if you're doing it to them, you're going to do it to me when I'm not here. So I was like, that's not healthy, and I don't want my kids to be that type of person. So basically, I think it all comes down to somebody that allows you to be your best, and then also, you know, has traits that you would want in your kids. I think if those two boxes are ticked, you've got a very good woman on your hands. And I don't think you should ever look for perfection. I think people are going to have flaws, they're going to have things that you don't like, but as long as they've got those core values in place, it's going to go a long way. It's going to go far. There's things that she doesn't like about you. There's things you do that she wishes you wouldn't. But it's like, as long as you've got those core moral values in place and you're good people and that list that I just went through is in play, guys, that changes everything. And if you're, you know, looking for a wife or a long-term girlfriend or somebody to raise your kids, somebody to build an empire with, which I think is probably the end goal of this entire industry, which I think we've lost sight of, and everyone's going down the route of, I want 9 lime green Lamborghinis, which is a bit silly, then that's the criteria that you need to follow. Take it from a 32-year-old man that has dated a lot and has dated women from all different backgrounds, ethnicities, sizes, shapes, whatnot. That is what holds true. Okay, those are the things that you can build something long-term off, and any guy in a long-term relationship will agree with me. So, hope you enjoyed that, guys. Something a little bit different. I'll speak to you all soon.